In this video I'm going to show you how to paint your Vior'la Sept fire warriors. We'll start with the very basics and then continue step by step so you can easily follow this tutorial to achieve amazing results no matter your skill level. You'll not only learn that painting white armour isn't scary, but I'll also show you how to approach painting squads of miniatures without feeling overwhelmed. And if you stick around until the end, we'll learn how to paint the armour markings, lenses, and even how to achieve the weathered and chipped armour we see on the box. My name's Michael and welcome to TableTopReady. In this tutorial I want to show you that painting a squad of fire warriors doesn't have to be difficult and you can still achieve some great looking results. All the paints and brushes I use will be shown on the screen as I use them, and they'll also be listed in the description along with links to my favourite hobby tools and equipment you see me using. And before we get started, we'll first have to get our miniatures ready for painting, which involves building them using sub-assemblies and getting them undercoated with Mechanicus Standard Grey. And if you want to learn more about getting your miniatures ready for painting, I've got a dedicated video on the channel that covers sub-assemblies and undercoating your miniatures in depth. Something I do find useful, especially with building units using sub-assemblies, is to mark them so we know where each part attaches to once we're done painting them. So when you're ready, we can get started and learn how to paint your units for games of Warhammer 40,000. In this first section, I want to show you a more effective way of getting miniatures painted. We'll start with the basics and then see how to make painting squads more manageable. For our Vior'la Sept fire warriors, I find it best to start with the two main colours, and it's up to you what order you paint them in. Here I'm starting with the white armour, painting the helmet and any panels using Corax white, and for best results we want to thin our paint, and I find an equal amount of water does the trick. We also want to remove excess paint from our brush onto paper towel first, to give us more control when painting. Then when you're ready, keep your brush moving and try not to go over any areas you've already painted, to prevent creating any unwanted texture whilst the paint is still drying. And because we thinned our paint, it won't have covered so well, so let's repeat the process and apply another layer. This lets us build up to a solid colour without losing any detail. Just make sure to let each layer fully dry first before doing another one. If you're interested in learning why and how we thin our paints, go check out my video going into more depth. When you're done with the armour, let's work on painting the fatigues using Corvus Black. And although we want to be as neat as possible whilst painting, if you're like me, you're going to be messy and make mistakes. That's okay though, we can always go back and tidy things up as we go, or wait until all the base colours are done before fixing them. I can't emphasise enough how much of a difference it makes to our miniatures just spending that time practicing the basics and just keeping everything neat and tidy. This also creates a great foundation for anything we do after this. For any drones and platforms, instead of fatigues they'll have black armour, so let's paint this with the Baden Black. Now with the two main colours done, we can paint our grey armour panels using Dawnstone, and for any red details and armour let's use Mephiston Red. When the different coloured panels are painted, let's use Eshin Grey for their boots, and finally Retributor armour for any gold details. And because we're painting a squad, the best approach is to work on one colour or technique across the whole unit at a time, rather than completely finishing each individual miniature before moving on to the next. Working this way makes the process easier to manage, keeps your colours consistent, and ensures the whole squad has a unified look. Something else that might help is having something to hold on to whilst painting. Here I'm using some blue tack with plastic shot glasses. This is because having a painting handle or attaching the miniature to something to hold on to makes painting more comfortable and prevents us from touching our miniatures too much. With all of our main colours mostly painted, this is a good time to add our squad markings before we move on to creating definition and highlighting. To make this easier, we'll use the transfers included in the box. These come off the backing sheet with a little water and can be positioned in place with your brush. Having a bit of water on the area helps you move them around until you're happy with the placement. Once they're in position, we want to let them fully dry. We can help them conform to the surface rolling a damp cotton bud over them, applying a little pressure whilst doing this. With all the markings in place across the squad, we can now go over them with some Storm Shield, which I've thinned down with an equal amount of water. This reduces that shininess you get with transfers and helps them look more painted on. Of course, if you're not feeling confident about doing this step and painting these markings, you can always leave this until later until you do feel more confident. With our markings done, I think we have a great foundation, and we can start looking at how to create definition and learn how to highlight. Even though our fire warriors are starting to look like fire warriors, they do look flat, so let's see how we can bring out all those details, making them easier to see. I first want to show you how we can darken the recesses of our fatigues and other darker areas with Nuln Oil. Make sure to apply enough to areas without letting it pool up too much where we don't want it to. To bring out the different shapes and details of the armour, we can do a recess shade using Gorthor Brown. When we do a recess shade, we're painting directly into the recesses and armour lines. This gives definition but keeps the armour clean and vibrant, unlike an overall wash which can be messy at all the colours we apply them over. If you're a bit messy, we can neaten things back up with our base colours. When you're done with the armour, we can do the same for any red details on armour using Galvorback Red. For gold details, let's use some Reikland Flesh shade. Now that we have our definition created, we can really bring out details with some highlights. The idea behind highlighting is to bring out areas, raise details and all those edges to draw our attention to them and to make these features stand out. The most prominent way of highlighting and the one we most associate with it is the line highlight, and it's this highlight that we're going to be focusing on. For the white armour, let's use White Scar, and to make this easier, make sure to again thin your paint and remove any excess on some paper towel first, which is going to prevent those thick blobby lines. When highlighting the more prominent edges of the armour, we can angle our brush and run it along those edges to create our highlights. For the material of the fatigues, we're using Dawnstone, and for this we just need to take our time painting thin lines along all those raised folds and details. When you're done, hopefully you can see what a difference it's made to bringing out the details in our miniatures. For me, highlighting will always be one of the most important techniques to really practice and get good at, because not only will it help to improve the look of our miniatures, but it also helps to improve our brush control and hand-eye coordination, making us better painters overall. For the grey panels and details, let's use Administratum Grey for our highlights. For our red details, we can actually do 3 stages of highlight, starting with Evilson Scarlet for our chunky highlight. This highlight wants to be quite a thick line, so we can still see it once we've painted finer highlights after this. After that, let's use Fire Dragon Bright for our edge highlights. Finishing any red details using Towlight Ochre for the spot highlights, painting dots on all the corners. Then gold details can be finished with Stormhouse Silver. Now that we're done creating definition and painting all of our highlights, I think we're ready to do the more fun stuff like Tau skin, those lenses, and even how to weather the armour. In this final section of the tutorial, I want to show you how to get our squad of fire warriors finished and paint all the things that are really going to help them stand out. The first thing I want to show you is how to weather our armour, and this is easily done using Gorthor Brown and painting chips along any edges. Take your time doing this and just treat it like an edge highlight but with messy broken lines. We can also chip and scratch our markings with Corax White, adding even more character. Now it's time to paint the Tau skin, first using Rust Grey for our base colour. Then once you have a nice solid colour to work from, we can create definition using some Nuln Oil. To bring out the details, let's highlight the features of the face with an equal mix of Rust Grey and Ushabti Bone. Finally, we need to get all the lenses painted, and for this let's start with some Sotek Green. We then want to paint thin lines around the edges using Baharoth Blue. Now finish any lenses painting a dotted white scar towards the top. The Tau are as sci-fi as it gets in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, with their sleek armour and advanced weapons, and I've really enjoyed showing you how to paint the Vior'la Sept colours, and also how to tackle painting entire squads without getting overwhelmed. So let's see how they turned out. Before we see the finished miniatures, I want to say a massive thank you to all the amazing people who've made this tutorial possible with their continued support. It really means a lot. Your generosity allows me to get all the paints, brushes and miniatures I need to make these tutorials, so I can continue to help you get better at painting. And I especially want to thank Zagubba, Paul Apathy, Olive Arias and Brian Schmidt, who have recently become supporters or have donated to the channel. Thank you so much. If you enjoy the content here on TableTopReady and feel you get value from it, you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or joining my Patreon. You'll get access to our Discord, regular updates and early access to videos and tutorials. We've now finished painting our Vior'la Sept Hellfire Warriors, and I hope I've been able to give you the confidence and knowledge to paint your own. I've got plenty of other tutorials on the channel showing you how to improve your painting, and I've also got tutorials showing you how to get your Tau battlesuits painted. Make sure to go check those out as well. I really do enjoy making these tutorials and I hope you find them useful. If you do, then please leave a like and let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing about your own hobby and what you thought of the video. As well, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future content, and I'll see you in the next video.